Welcome, Leo, to your June 15th to June 21st forecast. And the most influential transit this week is going to be Mars being square with Uranus on June 15th. And that's going to highlight your career and finances. So there may be some unexpected shifts that occur. And you're being advised to stay adaptable and avoid any hasty financial decisions. So we have the Hierophant here. Okay. So give me one more here. Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords. So I feel like you may be guided to take a look at your financial legacy, your portfolio, your investments, your budget, your expenses, what you're splurging on. Like, you're being guided to take another look at your finances, and if there's any areas where you feel you could tighten the reins, pull things back a little bit, minimize overspending in any areas, then absolutely you're being guided to address those areas. So this is all in an effort to help you stay aligned with the financial goals that you have set for yourself and to work towards continuing to expand on that generational wealth and your legacy that you're creating. We also have this Knight of Swords here. So yeah, if you find that there are particular things that you know you can address immediately, you're being guided to really take a bold approach towards that and cut it off. If it's not working for you anymore, if it's something that you're not as passionate about, cut it off. If there's any, like, I'm seeing a couple different subscriptions that you may have that, you know, you're not watching that and you haven't watched it for a very long time, so just get rid of it if it's no longer of interest to you, or there's particular things that you're doing that you feel are like, okay, you know, this was nice, or, you know, I really could save this money and have extra savings, then absolutely that's what you're being guided to let go of. We also have the Knight of Pentacles here. So this is really you also taking a really careful look. So we know that you're going to kind of approach things in a very honest way here as well, and really look at your strategy, not only the actual money that you're spending and what you have, but what is your strategy towards securing your financial legacy here. So that's also something that you're being guided to think about this week. What else? Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles. All right, that's wonderful, because you also may consider things within the home. So there may be like areas where, and something's coming to mind here, gym membership. So if you do have like weights at home, or you have exercises that you can do at home, you may be considering, you may have even thought about it already, like, okay, I don't really need this membership, or I'm going to take a couple months from this membership because I'm not going as much, or whatever it is. If it's some way that it can help you to save money, then that's what you're being guided to do. And so that's like a specific example for someone that may have been thinking about it. I'm not saying that's for everyone, because health and wellness obviously is still being an important priority for many of us. But if there's different ways that you feel like you can get your workout in and you can still be active, then, you know, that may be one area where you decide, like, okay, you know, like I said, I'm gonna take a couple months away from this and save that money. So I say all that to say that there's really some things that you can do within the home environment, or that are available within the home. This is also about like meal prepping, not spending as much money on food. So like, yeah, there's abundance within the home already, and that's what you're being guided to look towards to help you save in other ways. That's basically what I was trying to say by explaining those two things. So what else? We have the Eight of Swords here. Okay. And this is also, I think I did mention that really quickly earlier, about you being very honest about what is going on and what you're doing, because, we may say like, oh, well, I like to eat out 3 times a week, but it's healthy. So, I get salads from, DoorDash or whatever. So it's healthy. So I'm going to keep that in my budget. But if you really be honest with yourself, it's like you can meal prep salads, and you can meal prep like very, very tasty salads that have all the ingredients that you prefer in them. That's fresh. You know where it's coming from. And that may be a better option, and that'll help you save money. So that's what I say about like being completely honest and like, deciding like, okay, I really could save if I go in this particular direction. This is also about you not reframing your attitude towards these savings, and towards looking at your budget, and towards looking at different avenues that you may want to even invest in. It's all about your attitude and how you're framing the opportunity that's in front of you. Because some of you may look at this as like a difficult experience or challenge for you. And like, yes, obviously it is when you have to go back and cut down and you're really trying to work towards goals and putting that inspired action in. It can be challenging at times, but it's also opportunity for you to be grateful for the blessings that are coming out of this. So you're eating healthier, you're looking healthier, you are saving money, you are accomplishing your financial goals. So that's just a couple different ways that you can reframe this situation here. Okay, like you may even decide that, okay, I'm going to cut out a couple subscriptions because I'm not watching that stuff anyway. So then you may decide like, okay, I'm going to read more, or I'm going to research things more, I'm going to learn more, I'm going to work on my side business more. So again, it's really about how you're framing it and viewing the free time that you have, or the money that you have, as like an opportunity and a blessing that's coming towards you. Okay, so you're like restructuring how you manage the different areas in your life. And this doesn't have to just relate to finances, because I know I'm talking about health and wellness here as well, but it's all incorporated in to you being financially stable all the way around. We also have the 7 of Wands here. So you are overcoming adversity here. So we know, like, yeah, you may be in a little bit of a pickle. It's a little challenging to have to kind of go back through and readjust and rework things and refigure things. But you also are coming out on top here, stronger and more accomplished, and making more progress by making these changes. So there's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel, and it may be a little tough to get through your way through, but again, you're coming out on top, and you can be very successful if you allow yourself to complete that process. We have mending here. So again, just working your way through these things and not viewing yourself as, someone that's losing things along the way. Maybe view yourself as someone who's gaining new opportunities along the way, and strengthening, again, your financial standpoint, your health and wellness, growing your mind, gaining knowledge and wisdom. There's so many other ways that you can review this, and you can kind of see it as you continuing the journey of making yourself whole and complete and remembering who you are. Okay. So let's look at some challenges here. So we do have justice. We do have things kind of balancing themselves out, and you trusting and knowing that things are working out for your highest good and in your favor. So that, again, it's about the attitude, and that's going to make the difference here. How you go into this, how you're viewing it, how you identify ways that you can continue to grow through the setbacks. We also have the 10 of Cups here coming up as a challenge. So there may be some changes that you do make in the home environment here. So we talked about maybe cutting out some subscriptions that you may have. So, not everyone may be on board with that. But again, it really is about working towards your goals and taking that inspired action towards them. So just know that that may come up as a little bit of a challenge or a little bit of contrast that you may have to deal with. so you can come up with a plan to address that in the meantime. So we also have the Princess of Wands here. Excuse me. So this is also, there's a need for you to really call on your bravery, your courage, the power that you have and the powerful being that you are to help you get through this. Okay. All right, so we also have the Fool here. Yeah, so this may be new for you, and not necessarily new, because these are goals that you've established and you've been working towards, or you're kind of shifting and redefining that goal post, and there's new opportunity here, new beginnings here. So again, it's really about how you view these changes that you're going to make to achieve and accomplish your goals. Okay. It's going to make you, again, stronger as a part of the process, and you're going to receive more blessings coming towards you as a result of the shifts and the changes that you're willing to make and take inspired action toward to achieve your goals. Okay, so what else? So we have you breaking free from all that no longer serves you. I love this because this is exactly what we're talking about here. You going through and saying like, okay, this doesn't work for me. I don't use this anymore. I don't need this. And that having a positive impact on your goals and allowing you to make progress toward them. So I love that. That is that confirmation of where we are so far. Okay, so let's move to potential underlying fears here. So we have the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so the work, yeah, it's the inspired action, we'll call it, towards your goals. So there is a little bit of hesitancy, and there may also be, so it's not just about like, can I actually do this? Can I stick to it? Well, yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say here because I lost my other train of thought. But I think this is just that underlying fear of, you know, if this is something that can be accomplished, are you strong enough to do it? Can you actually like go through the process, and can you live without those subscriptions? You know, just as an example. But I do see that coming up as an underlying fear. I thought there was something else I wanted to say, so if I remember it, I will bring it up. But we also have the Ten of Pentacles here. Okay, so there also may be this underlying fear of how this is going to impact your family or your family unit or that environment, because if you are kind of taking some things away that you aren't utilizing as much, there may still be someone that does like to watch those subscriptions, and that is going to be, you know, rather upset that to see them go. But there are other things that you can incorporate into the process, and only you will know what those things are by having those discussions and understanding like, okay, are there things that we can do and incorporate into the process that don't cost money or don't cost as much money, so that we're still able to save. Okay, so what else? We have the Star. Okay, so this is just like general hope and faith and your desires, and just the fear that you may not actually accomplish them or reach them, and you're putting in all of this inspired effort in the meantime. So it's like, am I ever going to see these things come to fruition? Am I ever going to meet those goals that I have established for myself? Okay, so we're going to get you some advice, but these are just helping to understand what those underlying fears are. And we also have the Four of Swords here. There may also be a little bit of fear of just letting go of what's not serving you. Like, it's sort of like you coming out of your comfort zone. And there may be this fear of what coming out of your comfort zone really means. And I think that's pretty common for when we are considering changing up things or switching and, you know, stepping into a new version of ourselves. Yeah, there is that underlying questioning of like whether this is truly for me, whether this is going to work for me, whether this is truly what I want. And I'm just hearing that that's natural. That's a natural part of the process. Okay. So let's move to potential outcomes here. So So we have the Seven of Cups. Wonderful. So I feel like there's going to be many options that come to you as a result of this process of cutting out things that don't serve you. And this could even be like many options that you can decide from when you're thinking about how can I adjust this so I can make things happen faster for me, or just what options are available to me because I do want to continue to build on my legacy. Okay, so this is opportunity everywhere in all forms that are coming towards you. So just apply it however it fits within your particular scenario. We also have the High Priestess here, and just really quickly with the Seven of Cups, like you definitely want to do some careful research and evaluation because these are a lot of options coming through, but it's like not all options are going to be your path of least resistance, basically. So some of these are not for you. They may just come up to show you what you prefer versus what you don't. So just know that just because it's an option there doesn't mean that it's for you. It's going to take you evaluating it, thinking it through, researching it, deciding what's best for you, running it through your heart space and your crown chakra, and really connecting with your intuition and guides to figure out what path you do want to take. Okay, and that's where we have the High Priestess here as well. So that's just that reconfirmation of that you have all the answers within you. You know what to do. It's just about you connecting with that part of yourself to receive those messages, to receive those downloads and that guidance. Okay, what else? So we also have the Six of Cups here. Okay. All right, so it may be beneficial to have a conversation with your partner or with your family as a unit to figure out what are the best options for everyone, okay? Because the example we gave earlier about the subscriptions and letting some of them go, I mentioned that, okay, there may be someone in the family that does watch those and that is going to be really upset to see those things go. So maybe it is about having a conversation as a family on what is the best path and what you truly can let go of versus what you want to keep, okay? Also, there are some particular gifts or talents that you may have that you may find as a result of this that you want to explore, or you decide through this process of like, look, I want to have some side income coming in. I want to be doing some things on the side because I eventually want to start my own business, or I want to, sell particular products or services. So you may decide that. So you definitely have some gifts and talents here that you could explore as part of this process, and you could make money off of those things and be financially free. And it's not about just making money. I'm only mentioning that because this is a career and finance guided reading and message here. But these things, these gifts, these talents that you have are innate. So they're part of who you are. So you doing them brings you joy, brings you bliss. And there is a learning process here, obviously. But that is the eventual goal here for those gifts and talents. And also you being able to be financially free off of them. So it's not just about doing them for money. It's about you doing them because they make you feel good and because you're helping others in the process. And then the cherry on top is the money. Okay, so, when I bring that up, I'm not just saying it's like, oh, just do that for money. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about doing things that make you happy. And then as a result of that, also being able to be financially free as well. Okay, so let's get one more here. All right, so we have the Five of Swords here. So like I said, you may be having these discussions, and if you do decide to open it up and include the entire family, I do see that there could be a little bit of contrast here as a part of that, and you may not be able to make like decisions quickly. You may have to, talk it through, and then everyone kind of go to their respective places and think about it, and then have another conversation on it. So this may be a multi-conversation process. So just so you're aware of that, and know that, okay, we're really going to have to sit down and hash this out and work together and take a collaborative teamwork type of approach to solving any issues that do come up. Okay, so let's get you some oracles here. So we have wisdom and your intuition, knowing more than you. So this is that direct message to go within, connect with your higher self, connect with your intuition. And that's regardless of if you're deciding on your own, you're single, or it's just you and your partner, or it's you, your partner, and your children. Whoever this is, whatever we're talking about here, go within. Connect within, run it through your heart space, your heart chakra, as well as your crown chakra. So you're viewing it from different aspects and ultimately going with what you know is best for you and your family unit. And if you have a life partner, I'm hearing that, you know, this is a combined type of discussion and decision-making process here, but ultimately, like, really go in the direction of what your intuition is telling you. Okay, so what else do we have here? So we have fertility with potential, creative energy, and initiation energy. Wonderful. So this is so beautiful to see, because this is you kind of rethinking things and taking a little bit of a step back and reevaluating things and listening to the guidance that you're receiving and knowing that you're birthing something new here, because you are taking the time to reevaluate and adjust and make sure that your goals are aligned with who you're becoming and who you want to be. Okay, what else? So we have Mother Mary with love and peace and letting go of the need to be right and choosing peace and working on the healing process at this time. So I feel like this can come in handy as you are having these discussions, and you know, what's within your intuition and guidance system may be different than what's in your partner's guidance system versus your children's guidance system. So this is an entire just collaborative approach that we're seeing here. And although we're saying, like, yeah, definitely go with intuition, with what you feel is right, it may still be a discussion with your partner, because you may be on different pages in some aspects of things. So this is about you doing your best to work through that in an emotionally intelligent way. So that's just having constructive conversations where you're working through things and maybe coming up with a system where you can decide. And this is probably a little too much, because I know I can be like over analytical sometimes, but you know, sometimes I do use like a pros and cons list. Sometimes I use sort of like a weighting system for each area that I'm reviewing and researching and looking at to try to decide, like, okay, what am I going to keep? What's most important? So that, again, is kind of going off in a different area. That's getting a little more like technical and bringing in analytics and numbers. So I understand that maybe not everyone cares about that or wants to do that. But again, this is really about just doing things in a constructive way, as well as letting your intuition guide you, and just knowing that as a part of that process, it may lead you to a different place than what your partner is, or to what others in the household feel. But it is about you all working together and taking a collaborative approach to figuring it out. Okay. All right, wonderful. So Leo, those are the messages I have for you this week. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week.